They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Good morning, YouTube. It is your boy Zai. You already know what time it is, but basically, before I even get into what I'm going to talk about, man, shout out to all the people that have been supporting the channel since day one, regardless of the content, whether I'm talking about politics, prison, whatever. People that have been with me since day one continue to follow, and I appreciate you guys, really, truly. Appreciate you guys, because I know without my core base, my channel would have died a long time ago. But with that being said, man, to the people that are new to the channel, you might be confused, not really knowing what direction I'm going to, you know what I mean, like, or because I don't tend to stay in one lane, I visit every area that I choose to speak on. Now this one in particular, but anyway, before I get to that, man, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button for all notifications, share my videos, and give me some constructive criticism. If it's anything disrespectful, I'm just gonna erase it, or I'm not gonna block you. I just, you know, that just takes too much. But anyways, with that being said, man, you know, people are probably tripping off the title and be like, what is this whole rap is a new black mass? And I say this because, you know, music since inception has always been a way of either evoking emotions, celebrating of your people, scaring the enemy, and so on and so forth. So music has always had some sense of, you know, from the, I don't know if it's, if you're into spirituality, and as far as like vibrations and things of that nature, you know, when people vibrate on a certain level, you allow certain how should I say, entities and things of that nature, things that are on a different plane that can only be brought forth onto this plane through vibrations. You know what I mean? A lot of people that vibrate negatively, that's why they have these low vibrations. That's why things such as, you know, possessions and things of that nature happens to them. People that know me from back in the days and know that I had spoke on it once before, as far as like a cult, and the fact that I have dabbled in that, and, you know, I left it, but at that time it was something that I really enjoyed, you know what I mean? It was something different. It was a way of, it was just different, you know what I mean? And at that time, that's what I chose to partake in. Of course, I've went on a different page, so I no longer partake in that particular arena. But with that being said, man, yeah, I say that rap is a new black mass because, like I said, music has always been an opening, you know what I mean, with as far as like the vibrations. When people came with percussions, you know, it was used, like I said, in different ways, whether it's to pump fear into the enemy, whether it's to celebrate your people, celebrate the dead, or just, you know, when music brings on, as far as like starting with the beats, it brings on a certain sense of nostalgia. It can bring on a certain sense of dread. But I won't go too far down the rabbit hole. I'll tell you why I say that rap is a new black mass. Because if you look at it, the music today invokes a sense of either anger, wanting to go out and do something that quite possibly could end another person's life. You know, some music, as far as like in rap, makes you want to fight, even if you don't have the spirit to go out and actually harm somebody in a sense to where you're willing to take their win. Just a sense of, you know, you listen to this music, you want to go punch somebody out, which can in turn end up causing this person life to be over, or him ending your life, or her ending your life, or whatever, so on and so forth. Like I said, music has always been a conduit for that, because when you had hip-hop, you know, it was a form of expression. People were talking about things that happened to them, things that they went through, their struggle as far as growing in poverty-stricken neighborhoods, or just even if it wasn't as deep as that, where the poverty was at its all-time high. It was like people still found an outlet by speaking on it. Some people found it as a way out, but rap was pretty much docile at that time. It was more verbals, and people were connecting dots and who could, you know, make it sound the best and convey their story through that way. Nowadays, music has shifted to a more disrespectful. I'll put your homeboy in a box. Like, I want to see you dead, or things of that nature. So it's no longer docile. And don't get me wrong. If you see it, the shift in music. At one time, rock music overtook everything. It didn't matter. I don't care how good the rapper was. He just was not gonna beat, or he was not gonna get on the level of somebody that had a rock band. So that's why a lot of people went into rock, mostly Caucasian, but everybody went into rock because it was a way of making a lot of money. There's always a off chance that you would blow up, because that type of music had a wide audience. But now, and see, at that time, people did clever things, such as create songs that if you reverse them, you had the elements of that, like the whole dark mass and people worshiping whatever deity they chose to worship. It was in the music. Even to this day, Dimmu Borgir, you have black metal bands, death metal bands, but they will never be at the height that they were back in the days. People had more angst in a different sense. Now you have Caucasians, Asians, and every other nationality really getting into this whole genre of rap. You had drill. Drill is a music that brings about death. Like, drill is a type of music that it's a direct conduit to the dark, because I mean, everything you say is dark. You cannot do drill music without being disrespectful, and not just disrespectful in the sense to where you're like, F you, or, whatever. Like, it really delves deep into death. Like, you're proclaiming death, you're proclaiming to bring about death, and you're disrespecting those that have lost their life to death. It is a music genre that is a direct conduit to that. It's you open up so many different levels when spitting that type of rap. A lot of people, like, they like to, they go by the Bible. They only tend to go by, what's now, and they don't really even reflect on the Old Testament. But, to think that whatever God you proclaim created us and didn't create nothing before that. If you really go down the rabbit hole, there was a lot of things that were created before us that didn't make the cut, so they got put a certain place. And that's why you have a lot of people that deal with spirituality, and they're saying, like, when your vibration, if it's low, you allow certain things to come into this world, to come into your life, to invade you. People that are possessed vibrate at a lower level. And this is just, books and stuff that I read and people that I interact with. But like, the whole reason I chose to make this video is because I really do think in my heart of hearts that music is a direct conduit to that. I think when people profess to be killers and taking people's life, you open up something, and some people are not ready for it. They proclaim to be ready for it, but when death is visited upon them, they have a whole sense of, I want to change. But by that time, it's too late. If you notice, King Von, the type of music he did, when he was just doing regular stuff, it was like whatever. But to be honest, he never really did regular stuff. So death was visited upon him. You got Dirk. Dirk is smart, but Dirk is smart because he does a lot of drill, but he's not as outright as he's not as out as other rappers, such as, the late FBG Duck. Everything that he said was disrespectful, and he got into the meat and potatoes of it, and that's why death was visited upon him. You have all these rappers that are out here proclaiming to be a certain type of individual, and they say things such as, I'm gonna kill you, I put your whole boy in a box, like I'll roll him in this, and and that's why death is visited upon them. I think drill music invites something. It invites I think when you do drill music, you vibrate at a certain frequency, and I think that's what allows certain things to come and do their deed. Now you're gonna have people that be like, this all over the place. This is bull and all this. But if you notice, even with rock music, at the beginning of its inception, you had bands like Rolling Stone. They told you that that they learned this type of music by listening to blues, and a lot of these blues artists, supposedly sold their soul to the devil. That's why you get the whole crossroads and things of that nature, and how to sell your soul. You have all these different ways of doing this, and now it's not so much. People are looking to find outright, like if they don't see the devil or they don't see some type of demon or some type of they automatically dismiss it. But that's what the devil does. He wants certain people to believe him, but to him, you don't even know he exists, and that's fine. That's his whole thing, because he can go about doing what he does without being, because if you know, then you might refrain from doing certain things, which nowadays everything is going out of whack and things are no longer have a limit on it. But yeah, I truly believe that rap is the new black mass, and I think a lot of people are unwillingly bringing about certain things. I mean, everything can be manifested. A lot of people tend to think that, but words have power. Words have always had power. If I went to my neighborhood right now and was getting at my younger homies in a certain way, and I make it sound good, they're going to get up and go do whatever, because it's the words. That's why great speakers move people. You had Martin Luther King do his thing, move people just by his speech. Obama, regardless of the situation, his speech commanded attention from everybody, not just blacks, but everybody. And you had a lot of great speakers, but that's how it is. Like, all it takes is the right person or the wrong person with a certain voice, and he can invoke all types of stuff. But rap is a new black mass, and I think a lot of people fail to realize that. I think people just don't really care. But I'm just going to say this: if you get into drill music, know that it brings about death, and 9 out of 10, you the one open up the door to death. And it's not necessarily you're going to cause somebody's death. I think in a lot of sense, you bring about your end as quick as possible, because words are power. If you talk about killing enough, it's like saying you're crazy every day. You become the person that you proclaim yourself to be. It is just a proven fact. They did studies on it. But yeah, and that's why rap now overtook rock music. That's why everybody that was going into rock music have shifted to doing drill. You have white dudes that ain't never even been to the hood, but they're in the suburbans doing drill music. And it's funny because some of these same cats go out and do the most horrific all in the name of the music that they proclaim to take part in, as far as like the lifestyle. Because nowadays everybody is more on the pace. I need to show you. It's not like before when people could rap about gangster stuff. You had Ice Cube and them, they did their thing, but they were never really out there like that. Nowadays rappers, especially the ones that do that dark shit, they're out to prove it. They want you to know that they're about everything that they say they are. I mean, and then you have other cats that get exposed. You have 6ix9ine and all of them. You have this whole YSL thing. Them dudes are falling like bricks because, if you never really did that time, you're not trying to do that time. I don't know. I'm not as good as formulating my thoughts as early. You know what I mean? America's team. But yeah, just think about it. Like, just if you think I'm bull, just think about it. I mean, for the people that know, I may not be the most articulate when it comes to this, but it's true. Rap is the new black mass. You no longer have to even do certain things in order to bring about certain things. You can find symbolism in everything. I have dudes with runes on their body, like and don't have no idea what it is. You have people that are singing about certain things, and then when you do your research on it, you notice that these particular songs were actually pagan rituals, and people use them to invoke certain things. But people see it as a joke. A lot of these, just like a lot of these movies, they put this stuff in here, and then you look, and for anybody that has a keen eye, that has dealt with the occult or anything close to it, you see the symbolism, you see things that should never be put together. You know what I mean? You got, I think I seen something on some dude's song, and he basically did the whole King Solomon's, prayer, like King Solomon's magic. King Solomon, he dealt in magic. A lot of times he used the Jewish star as, but that's on a different page. I'm not gonna go down that road. I'll go down the rabbit hole. All I'm saying is, rap is the new black mass, and if you don't believe me, just keep paying attention, and you'll see exactly how many people die from doing this music. Even people tell me, like, don't do that style of music. Don't open up the doors. Everybody dies for the most part, they do. Eventually you get caught and you die. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And that's why I say rap is a new black mass. You don't have to do nothing. It's everywhere, the symbolism. People put in their songs. People say things not even knowing that they're prayers. You know what I mean? Like, I've been down that road, so I know. I hear it. I hear the certain prayers that people do, and they might not even know they're doing it. They're just doing it because it sounds cool, not even knowing what type of they're invoking. You know what I mean? Like I said, music is a conduit and always has been. And whatever devil or whatever dark deity you claim, there's always been a need for it. Even when you seen like devils in music, devils in on TV, it's always a fervor of, or what's that word, like the music is playing and it's cranking until it hits where it needs to be, and then the music stops. You see what I'm saying? Music creates a sense of, it can mass hysteria, nostalgia, anger, resentment. It creates a whole lot of different emotion. That's why music is, they say music sets the tone of the year. In the 90s, Snoop and Dogg, murder was the case. How many people died? How many people were fighting capital cases? Music is a direct link. Is a direct link. Regardless of what type of music you're doing, it vibrates. But when you're doing drill and music that's being disrespectful, you're talking about death, you open up a whole different can of worms. And I know people are probably going to see this video and be like, this fool, whatever. But I'm just saying, it's like, it doesn't take a genius to see, and it doesn't take deep research to really get the meat and potatoes of it. You see it every day. You see it with King Von, you see it in FBG Duck, you see it with a lot of these New York rappers, you see it with a lot of these LA rappers. It's visited upon them eventually. With that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and stop here because I'm starting to go down the rabbit hole, and I can go deep into this. I can give you examples if you want. We could talk about it another time. But yes, know what you do when you rap about certain things, and know that eventually it's that knock at your door, and you may not want it when it comes. I'm your boy Zod. Be looking for Zod's Vendetta TV, and hopefully I didn't bore you too much.
Kneel before Zod!